Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of the Rappahannock, a place where spirituality, connection, and community come together in perfect harmony. My name is Jeff, and I will be your service leader on this special Soul Matters Sunday, where we will explore spirituality, religion, and how to best serve each of your individual needs as well as the community needs of this fellowship. To all have joined this morning, whether here in person or streaming from home, welcome to this special conversation. In this circle of gentle witness, we kindle the flame, not merely for light, but to honor the sacred mystery within and among us. We gather not always to agree, but to grow, to feel the pulse of spirit and shared breath, to let silence sing and questions dance. This chalice burns with love and longing, welcoming all paths to truth, each heart a lantern, each soul a temple. Come, let us worship together. Opening words are from Swami Vivekananda, Jnana Yoga, the Necessity of Religion. Man is man so long as he is struggling to rise above nature. And nature is both internal and external. Not only does it compromise the laws that govern the particles of matter outside us and our bodies, but is also more subtle nature within, which is in fact the motive power of governing the external. It is good and very grand to conquer external nature, but grander still to conquer the internal nature. In every society, there is a section whose pleasures are not in the senses, but beyond, and who now and then catch glimpses of higher than matter and struggle to reach it. And if we read in the history of nations between the lines, we shall always find that the rise of nations comes with an increase in the number of such men, and the fall begins when the pursuit after the infinite, however vain, has ceased. This is to say, the mainstream of strength of every race lies in its spirituality, and the death of that race begins the day that spirituality wanes and materialism gains ground. A couple weeks ago at Food and Philosophy, we did a little energy experiment, and I want to show you how energy runs through all of us. This is a little wand. When you close a circuit, that's the energy going through me. We can go around the whole floor. Take it with you. And touch, touch Mike. Mike. Oh. Yeah. And now touch Tina. Sharon, touch me.
Yeah, touch shoulder. Doesn't have to be a hand.
Oh, somebody's touching a block. That's fine.
Somebody what?
Oh, we're not touching.
Oh, you're not touching. I was going to try to get everybody in a circle and hold hands and do a reading, but we're a little too sparse today. So hold hands with the person next to you if you want. And I'm going to talk a little about why we are here, why I am here, and what I'm looking for spiritually to help open it up to everything. What I'm looking for spiritually is why I came here physically. A community, a fellowship, a deep soulful connection with those who feel in my heart as I feel theirs. A sanctuary where I can live my truths boldly, unabashedly, while absorbing the sacred truths of others. Each moment becomes a treasure, a sharing of offering of authenticity and grace. I came here for the fellowship, for the hands that lift me when I falter, and a sacred place to practice my seva, energy, attunements, and healings. I came to shine a loving spotlight on the magic that flows through beautiful essence, radiating from these halls and the podium each week. I came for the conversations, the radiant blend of perspectives, prophetic insight, and folding ideas that reach into the deepest depths of subtle layers of divine truth, always evolving, always deepening, always illuminating. I came for the membership, where we all pull our skills, talents together to co-create, manifest, and absorb love in action. I came to showcase our essence to those seeking community and conversation. Guys, feel in your heart why we're here, what we're looking for. I'm going to invite Kelly up for a reading. Most of you know who Kelly is. Kelly Maitland discovered the UU Fellowship in Waynesboro over 30 years ago. She wanted to be part of a positive religious and spiritual exploration community, especially for her children at the time. UUFR is her fourth UU Fellowship, and she has worn many official and unofficial hats through the years. Currently, she is the membership chair and event facilitator, organizing such events as the Keeley and Friendsgiving. She's currently a hospitality team leader and has been a service leader, a Sunday sermon speaker, and a facilitator for Soul Matters Sunday. Kelly, you can read.
Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Unitarian Universalism, and I got this. This is all from UUA. We are people of all ages, people of many backgrounds, and people of many beliefs who are brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers. We create spirituality and community beyond boundaries, working for more justice and more love in our lives and in the world. We gather and worship to find meaning and live more deeply. Worship creates connections within and among and beyond us, calling us to our better selves and calling us to live with wisdom and compassion. Our worship styles vary by congregation and even within congregations. Some congregations worship in contemporary and high tech. Some congregations worship in traditional and formal. Some features exuberant music, some includes long periods of silent reflection. Some congregations have special worship services for children or for youth. Some have seasonal evening worship services led by a Jewish, Christian, or pagan member of the congregation. But nearly all congregations have that Sunday morning worship. Unitarian Universalism draws from our heritage of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. We covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministries. Unitarian Universalism offers diverse and meaningful ways to connect with the sacred. Love is the power that holds us together and at the center of our shared values. The values we share include all of the following, which we hold as inseparable and deeply interconnected. Interdependence. We honor the independent web of all existence and acknowledge our place in it. Pluralism. We are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all feel welcome and can thrive. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. Equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. Worship and our shared Unitarian Universalist practice of exploring, connecting, and creating the ways that our individual lives fit into a larger whole. As people of many beliefs, we're each encouraged to embrace and practice forms of spirituality that resonate with our hearts and minds. As we know, not all UUs share the same beliefs or opinions. Our religious tradition doesn't expect or require consensus, but our shared worship forms a vessel for us to find meaning together. By devoting ourselves to a regular time of encountering and engaging that which is greater, wiser, and more compassionate than our individual selves, we create opportunities for transformation and meaning making. We gather together in a spiritual community because we need constant reminders of what matters most in life. In the world of heartbreak and dehumanization, our congregations, communities call us to our better selves. We learn to live with more wisdom, more connection, and more compassion. Our worship services are weekly reflections that weave together our own thoughts and experiences with music, beauty, poetry, and words that both comfort and challenge. We are inspired not just by religious sources, but by the people with whom we journey, the diverse and spirited Unitarian Universalists. This quote is from Andrea Lerner, who is a retired congregational life consultant for the Central East region. She's also very well known for her use of social networking to relentlessly promote Unitarian Universalism. Our faith is not interested in saving your soul. We're here to help you unfold the awesome soul you already have. We have a legacy of deeds, not creeds. Our work for a better world calls us to unexpected places as we harness love's power to stop oppression. From our grassroots community organizing to interfaith state, national, and corporate advocacy and protest marches, prayer vigils, and press conferences in homeless shelters, prisons, Unitarian Universalists put our faith into action. Every Unitarian Universalist congregation has its own way of celebrating and marking life transitions. We share our joys and sorrows, supporting one another through difficulty and success. From birth to death, our congregation help us live with deeper gratitude, deeper connection, and more reverence for life. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are brave, curious, compassionate thinkers and doers. We are diverse in our faith, ethnicity, history, and spirituality, but aligned in our desire to make a difference for the good. We have a track record of standing on the side of love, justice, and peace. We do have radical roots and a history as self-motivated spiritual people. We think for ourselves and recognize that life experience influences our beliefs more than anything. We need to think alike to love alike. We need not think alike to love alike. Sorry about that. We are people of many beliefs and backgrounds. People with religious backgrounds, people with none, people who believe in God, people who don't, and people who let the mystery be. We are Unitarian Universalists and Buddhists, Christians, Hindu, humanist, Jewish, Muslim, pagan, atheist, agnostic, believers of God, and more. On the forefront of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer inclusion for more than 40 years. We are people of all sexual orientations and gender identities. We seek to welcome your whole self with all your truths and your doubts, your worries and your hopes, joining in this extraordinary adventure of faith, embracing peace, love, and understanding that goes beyond the individual belief systems. We are creators of positive change and people in the world. I kind of thought we'd do this just a little bit different. And part of it is, if you want to write something, that's what the little cards and the pens are there for. I know we normally do it, where we pass the mic around, but I feel like maybe we don't always get everybody's opinion, and writing it down can be very helpful. And it's going to be a very simple. We're focusing on religion, spirituality. What are our ideas about that? And then the idea of what do we need? What can we do more here to help fulfill? So I just want everybody to be comfortable. We can bring the mic around if you would rather say it. Because if you're going to write it down, I do need to be able to read it. So it can be either way. It can be through a mic, or it can be if you want to. So let me give you the first question I would like you to kind of think about and write down your thoughts on it. Doesn't have to be a complete sentence. We're not doing English teacher today, though I am a retired teacher. So what is your definition of religion? And then that's the A part. What's your definition of religion? And even if you just want to write your ideas down, you could do that too. And then the B part would be, what do we need? Or do we need, or do we not need more of this in our fellowship? So we're talking about religions. A part, my definition of religion is. B part, we need or do not need this more in our fellowship.
The teacher comes out.
What?
Yes.
So I've never thought about this question, and what comes to mind is what other people want us to think.
We'll gather the little cards separate, in a group, so you don't feel like you're being pointed out.
To me, religion is an organization for people who are connected to the same type of spirituality to get together. And it's usually involves rituals and ceremonies to bring people into that.
The spirituality portion of that is the attempt to explain the meaning of life.
Explain the meaning of life.
I more or less agree with you, Jeff. It's a system of beliefs. And they're often shared, but not necessarily. And when they're shared, they usually are organized around those beliefs. So like we have our principles, other people have their creed, other religions.
Anybody can give me a call?
While you're getting those, Kelly, here's one approach. I think it has three elements. One is some conception of ultimate concern, something that's most important. This, as well, there's three elements here. So the second one is a code of living. Second element, and the third element is some point, some ultimate goal that you may never get there, but it serves as a place to point you toward. So, for example, the Christians would maybe say salvation. Buddhist or Hindus might say nirvana. But there is some endpoint you have in mind.
What was the second concept of concern?
Hey, the second element was the code of living.
Oh.
10 Commandments. The Eightfold Path.
I was handed two cards. The man-made connection to God personally correlates to religious trauma. And then the answer, do we need it? Maybe a need to change the definition.
Specifically, UUFR. I say we. I don't. I should have.
And then the second one that was handed me is trying to do your best. Do we need it? Yes, of course. In life, we should try.
I have religion. Religion, formal, organized belief for acceptance. And no, we don't need more religion. Religion is a searching, and we do need more, and we need to discuss it more. Religion, a way of life. Okay, yeah, I've got a need. Not they weren't sure. Sure.
Life, how we live, what we choose to.
So way of life was something that I came across many, many years ago, and it resonated with me. But I think about it from time to time. And people in this congregation, people all over the world choose to live from more or less spiritual perspectives. And it's how we choose to live, the way we choose to live our lives. That is, that's my religion. I mean, I find a lot. I mean, I work with people and their dogs. I come here. I volunteer. I do this, that, and the other thing. All of those things are the way I choose to live, and they all bring me to a place where I feel like I'm sharing good.
I mean, it's not that I have anything to say that's different from what other people are saying, except maybe I'm thinking about it slightly differently in that I want to say religion has a spiritual and a moral component, and which I also think abstraction is really important and metaphor is really important for that. So here we are together looking at, as people have said, how to live our lives. That's the moral component. What's good, what's bad for us personally and for us as a group and for our society and for the world and the earth.
Definition of religion, what others want us to think. I think we've come across that one. A being set in a certain way of thinking, which I think we've got that. This person says we don't need more here. Religion is organized belief system of worship with doctrine and dogma, which we have said that. We don't necessarily need more of it here. Definition of religion. Do we need more? Less in our fellowship. Religion is different from other endeavors in that it deals with someone or something bigger than us, an overall direction. It's a little different. A religion is belief in something bigger than ourselves, but don't need more.
I'm not crazy about the word religion, and I think it means guideline to nirvana, really, depending on whatever religion it is. Your goal kind of is heaven, nirvana, whatever you want to call it, God. And I think that's what religion is. And I think we need to find our own paths, not somebody else's.
Oh, I didn't know it was coming. Um, I always laugh when it comes to religion. I think actually there's a real need of laughter for and discussing religion. And there's a really good movie about the meaning of life. It's called The Meaning of Life by Monty Python. And it's a terrific movie. It's worth watching. I mean it.
I see religion as a fellowship of like-minded people striving toward more peace and love and connection, if it's in the best sense. In the best sense, it would be that. I think we need more of that. But I'm very struck by what Catherine said about it's what other people want us to believe. And that I've always felt that. And I've always, until we got in the Unitarian Church, until I got here, I felt like people were pushing me to believe their interpretation when it never was mine. Because I'd gone to an all-girls Southern Baptist college, and I'll tell you, they told me how to think, feel, and be with religion required every day in a chapel, and it didn't work. I mean, I got here where I belong.
Yeah, I'll get
Yeah.
to you in 1 second, Keith. I had somebody, I guess from Zooming. It's a it's you? Oh, Donna, okay. A construct for controlling others using fear, as opposed to spirituality, which is inside and self-empowered.
Those words I just heard spoken by my beloved Southern Baptist, born and raised in the Baptist church, and the experience she had, which was nurturing and love and support. And is passing through Unitarianism, I think, on our way to Buddhism, which is personal Unitarian in my definition. When you said definition of religion on a piece of paper like that, that's your answer right there.
All of
For
these.
me, religion is a guiding light. You see that on billboards all the time. but it's an internal guiding light to help us achieve our highest ideals.
Interesting, because I feel like we've gone from one end to the other. Religion is a bad word. And I remember living that myself at one point, thinking of religion as a negative. Religion is the fear, controlling through fear. And then we've got from the other end of it's a way to a guiding light to more love and better. And that actually is how I would rather think of religion also, but it has over the years with things going on in the world made it harder to focus on that. But Helen's got some.
Well, I think religion is a powerful word and we should not give it away. I think that actual Christians who believe in the golden rule have given away or allowed their word to be and their morals to be usurped by a negative, cruel Christian movement. And that is a loss. And we give away words because they begin being used pejoratively. And it seems to me that there are lots of liberal is another word. We stopped calling ourselves liberal for a long time because people just made it sound like if you're liberal, you're crazy and you're, left-wing communist nut or something. But I don't think we should give away perfectly good words that have helped people through the centuries. I think religion is a legitimate word, and we, of our diverse beliefs, are a legitimate religion.
Well said.
I really agree with what Helen just said, because I was sitting here thinking before she started, when you were going through your one end to the other spectrum, have we gotten to the point where we're afraid to call ourselves a religion because of what it means in other terms? Because in reality, I believe we actually are considered a religion. And so, maybe this talking about what's negative about religion, like Helen's saying, is the wrong direction for us to be going to begin with. And maybe we need to all kind of, I'm sitting here thinking, oh yeah, religion, that's terrible. You're forced to think a certain way, and otherwise you're doomed to go to hell, and that kind of thing. And I'm going like, wait a minute, we are a religion. We just happen to have a different approach. So yeah, I think we need to be willing to accept the fact that Unitarian Universalism is a centuries old religion.
Yes.
That we have chosen to follow.
We are an organized group. We do have beliefs and guidelines. So yeah, that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. I think, that the searching, maybe not so, we don't require people to believe certain things, or it is, we don't tell people what, we don't have the creed. Right.
They still tell people what to believe.
Right. Well, and it's just, and some are more hardcore, I guess. And it is a shame. I think, like Helen said, is this Christian thing. To me, Christians become a negative word in my mind, because they're the people who are messing stuff up in my mind. And I know that's not always true, because I know there's good and loving Christian people out there, and people who are out there doing wonderful social justice work and all that. So I think it is really important to not get bogged down. I think what you said, like you guys were both saying, is don't get bogged down in the word itself. Well, the other word I did want to talk about was spirituality, and how that is different from, the whole idea of religion. I do feel like in this congregation, I get the feeling that it's seen a little separate. Maybe I'm totally wrong. After going through this, all these different things here. I'm not sure that maybe we don't see it as really separate. So I mean, spirituality to me is not really a system, but it's more, yeah, it's definitely more personal.
Right.
Um,
For me, spirituality is something that everybody feels within themselves. And it's evident in everything that's world,
mhm.
divine essence. And it's your personal reflection and where you want to go and how you want to connect to that. And so you can have a spirituality that is unique to yourself, and you're going to keep it to yourself, or you can share it. It's up to you, but you can't force your spirituality on everybody else.
Well, hopefully we're not pushing our religion on other people either.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that. So yeah.
Kelly, you asked the question, do we need more? Do we need more in the world,
In here,
in our?
in our fellowship. And of course, part of that came up with after we had the minister search and I mean, she definitely was quoting from the Bible, and what I would think of as being very religious. Well, and we didn't give her a chance to find that out about that part. But for the sermon she did, it was much more what I would tag as more religious. And of course that's my own little opinion, little 2 cents. So it kind of got me thinking about that, like what do we need here more of? As being membership chair and doing events and stuff, do we need to be doing more things? Do we need a Bible group? Do we need a discussion group on that? Those sort of things. I mean, there are lots of different. Anyway. Do we want to get into defining spirituality? You want to write something down? Oh, okay.
It's kind of an oversimplification, but I think spirituality, sort of like what Jeff said, spirituality is more subjective and religion is more objective. And by subjective, I mean, usually a spiritual experience, most people think of it as some feeling that you've transcended the everyday. You're connected with the universe or, other feelings of just moving beyond your day-to-day life. I think is great. And I think we should have programs and experiences that help to achieve that. But there's a world out there that we ought to know about. There's a lot of things about what's going on in our planet and history and other traditional religions that we could learn from. That you could think of as more of the objective side of our experience. So we really need both. I wouldn't want to come here every Sunday just have a feeling of transcendence, although I would like that every minute. I'd also like to learn about the world too. So if we can combine those, I think we're doing a good job.
I have to say that I misunderstood the question, the second part B. I didn't take it as do we need more religion, but I took it as what do we need here?
Mhm.
What can we do here to make this a place where we all are happy to come and we get something from it?
Mhm.
And that might be completely separate from religion.
Mhm.
It has something to do with more than just learning about the world, but more about learning about our internal lives. And what I think I would like to see more of is more sharing of our internal lives, our experience of spirituality, or our experience of the 7 principles, how they matter in our life and how they manifest themselves in our experience.
Excellent. Yeah. I think that's very helpful too. I mean, I do feel like we kind of do the spectrum, we do the learning, we do I think next Sunday's the guy's going to, David Carnes is going to come and talk about writing, which writing can be a very spiritual thing, or just an everyday thing too. So
I think of spirituality is rooted in people, individuals, friends of UUFR, members, visitors, that when it's who we connect with, who's in the room on a particular Sunday. And if we can leave here thinking, wow, I'm so glad I went today, that's spirituality. And I love that feeling.
I agree. Anybody write anything down?
I have felt for, well, obviously since Susan left, that there has been a lack of spirituality. And more recently, I think that's greatly improved. And I, for one, I don't give anything about religion. I care about spirituality. And to me, that's what's important. And it is all of us together, which makes it a spiritual experience. And we all, I agree with Mike, sharing your experiences. But there again, to me, I come here for spirituality, not religion.
Well, it occurs to me that, me personally, religion is something I have to sort through. There's some religion that's great, and there's some that's for somebody else. Spirituality is, I don't sort through my spirituality.
Personal.
It is personal, it is deep. And I think we have done a better job of trying to address spirituality. I would say that I don't consider myself a religious person or a spiritual person. I really am a humanist from the perspective that I believe in community. I believe that's the bigger thing than us individually is us together. I believe people are basically good. There are things that cause them to be bad and things they need help with, but it's the people that bring me here and the people that go out in the community to help our community is what I think we need more of. We seem to get together very well here and we like each other and we have good times and talk, but we don't do enough, I think, to bring what we are feeling out to our community.
So really, did somebody else have something? Donna does.
So tagging along on the end of Janet's, we came here for connection and to have community. And my experiences with religion have been negative, and I felt like it's been a controlling force, or has tried to be, and with a lot of people, not just me, people that I know. But I think that when you look at the world, the church attendance is dropping down because people don't want religion. They do want spirituality.
Connection.
They want connection with other people, but they want it in such a way that they can find acceptance, they can find a safe place to be without being told that they're wrong, that they need to change themselves in order to be okay with God,
Mm.
And when we create that kind of a accepting, open, loving, warm space without all of the heaviness and expectation and judgment that these people who say that they're not supposed to be judging, they're all judging. Even the ones that say we shouldn't judge. And then they'll say, but that person doesn't know if they're a boy or a girl. And I don't understand that, and all this is judgment, And we're thinking also about
trying to keep this church going and trying to attract more people so that when these older people leave us, we will have fresh blood coming in. And these people in the world today, they don't want a cage that they have to sit in order to be religious. They want a way to connect with themselves and a way to connect with the humanity of other people. And we need to find, and that's what I want for myself. That's what I want to bring, is a way to help people connect on that level without all of the restriction and judgment of religion.
To piggyback on that, is it Wayfinder, that email, the thing we get, there was an article in there, and you know what the number one thing people go back to church is that they're having fun. I mean, that was the one thing to go, that that they're having fun. So if you're having fun, you're going to feel connected, you're going to feel accepted. So I think that that's something that we do need to continue to do. Helen?
So what I wanted to add was that my experience of Unitarian Universalism in the churches I've belonged to, that one major part of the sermons, one major part of almost all frequent worship service is people talking about their own spiritual journeys in the church and about what it was like that they were a Catholic or Jewish or Southern Baptist or whatever it was and how hard that was. And so from day one in the first Unitarian Universalist Fellowship that we went to, we heard that story, but nobody said this isn't religion then. Of course, that was a long time ago. What they said was, I had a hard time and I'm so glad to find something that has some of the components of what I had to lose because I felt so constricted in the Catholic Church, in my synagogue, in whatever the other thing was. And that's one thing I've missed here. Because though you're all saying that in one way, or many people are saying that in one way or another right here, the traditional UU services that I've been to, that has been a well, Catherine was raised UU, but that has been a frequent part of the UU churches that I've been to, is to somebody to say, the minister oftentimes, I started out as Southern Baptist minister. I went to seminary and here's how I changed. I began to see these things on a more universal level. And I realized that this thing I was taught was not accurate. And that thing I taught wasn't accurate, or we were constrained, or we weren't allowed to get married in the church, or whatever it was, or they wouldn't let my mother be buried because she committed suicide. All of those things from the churches that people left and the other religions that people left. And so here we are we're saying something that's similar, but again, I would hate for us to not count ourselves as a religion because we do have a lot of those other components. We're just trying not to repeat those errors.
Exactly.
But I think we've got to find a way to get the younger generation involved. And the ones that I see that do, maybe like up in Fairfax, it's these huge places that have a great sense of fellowship. I mean, they have a singles night. I mean, we don't have the demographics here. That's a little bit of a problem too. But up there, I know that they come out. They come out and they want to forget about what their daily days are like in the rat race and just be able to be with people that they enjoy. And I think that's a big piece. And we're losing that. We're really losing the young people like Jeff and Donna.
Jeff and Donna are 60.
I think we do need to just step back just a moment, because I do feel like we are doing some things where we're trying to bring the community in here. This past year, we did some welcoming community. We did some potluck for our LGBTQ. And the question was asked, do you guys want to do this more often? And I think a lot of them kind of like, so I do feel, we've been doing some of the social justice stuff where we've opened it to the community. We had one couple show up last year helping write, who wasn't part of UU. They were just part of the community. Claire of the Quakers she and I've done several different things where we've, tried to bring groups together. So, but it is a difficult way. Yeah, and that is, I mean, if you read that UU Wayfinder thing, that's what definitely. And I just threw, I mean, same with my children. I mean, my husband's kids were brought up Catholic. They went to Catholic school. Do any of them attend Catholic church? I think every now and then they might, but it's not well. And I have the oldest who has kids. They were kind of doing her husband's thing, which was Methodist. But I just don't. And I've even the families that we had coming. I've talked with them, and they've said, it's our one day off. It's our one day to, And then they start getting older, and the kids are playing soccer, and the kids are doing stuff because that's with another couple of ours that they kind of left when the minister left. And part of their thing too was they needed to be there more for an aging mother, and the kids were doing more things. So it's not necessarily us, is what I'm trying to say. And we are trying to do some things here to bring in people. I'm a bad one. I'm always harping on what's our social media? What are we doing out there? What are we doing? And I know Jeff's working on that big time. Janet and I have talked several times. I've talked with Mark, so it is what it is. But thanks.
One thing we have to be careful of is politics.
Yes.
And
yes,
doing something here is different than us going out and doing, I think, from a legal perspective. I don't know how many people are even aware of this, and I hope I'm not speaking too soon. But one of the things that we talked about at our board retreat back in June was this very issue of how do we maybe get some interest here with some of the younger folks. We do have one or two still that are members that are in their early 20s. And so we had Christy approach Oliver to see if Oliver would be interested in hosting some of his friends for a young person's night.
Forgot about that one, yeah.
And I understand that he's not only very excited about it, he's gotten all kinds of things lined up. No religious dogma being forced on them.
Right.
They're just going to be able to get together, have a safe place to get together, to have enjoy doing whatever activities that he's planned. I heard something about games, game night, video games and stuff. So anyway, that's something I hope, Elaine, will flourish and actually, help us reach a younger community.
Well, we're getting short on time. So one of the things I would really like y'all to do is if you do come up with ideas for worship or community events, if you want to email me, if you want to email Janet, Marley, just I think, this is everybody's community. Just because I'm up here leading doesn't mean I definitely don't have all the answers, and I have lots of ideas, but sometimes they just, so yeah.
We have transitioned from talking about what we need here to an existential question. We need to get members. Okay. We need to get new members. And why? Well, because we want to have this continue. We have needs. And I am, if I was a young person and I were to come in here and I would think, well, these people, they want me for why? And I think we need to build it and they will come. We need to build what they want. And if we can't do that, if we don't offer them something, then they're better off going their own way. Is this what young people want? And if we not what young people want, they're gonna find something else. So let's become what the best that we can be, regardless of who comes and who doesn't.
I like that. Yeah.
Part it looks like good. Part of what I'm going to be doing this year, and this is my offering to the fellowship, along with some financial stuff we'll talk to later, is I'm going to be really opening up our public sector of the conversations that we're doing here. This is the stuff that people really like to get into, is how we communicate with each other and how we put this stuff out. So this year I opened up podcasting of the videos that we're doing. And we're getting extra people coming on who are listening to the podcast. And so I'm going to spread that out for a further thing. I don't know if we're going to get the 20-year-olds, but we'll probably get a lot of the 40 and 50-year-olds that are listening to podcasts saying, oh, this is a place I want to come to. So we're going to slowly start putting out a public face as opposed to just the fellowship. And we'll see what that brings us. Well, it looks like our chalice has extinguished itself on our long conversation. But I'm gonna use the chalice extinguishing as our final words, unless you have something. As the flame extinguished, the light remains within us, kindled through sacred ritual, deepened by shared conversations, and sustained by the quiet strength of connection. Here we have touched the mystery, held space for spirit, and shaped a longing through the presence. Through the chalice is extinguished, the warmth endures, in each our soul, each story, each gathering, where love becomes our lasting light. Go now in peace. May it be so.